Hello, everybody. NicolaiBolas here, checking in before the draft begins. This was a really sweet one. We were experimenting with 4-color green once again, a really fun archetype built around Gift of Paradise. As of always, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any questions. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas to further support the channel. But most important of all, enjoy the draft, and I'll see you in the wrap-up. We're diving right in and looking at this pack. The uncommons aren't insane. I mean, I think Portal is good in the right deck. Rapacious Dragon can be a fine card in your red decks, but it's not like unbelievable or anything. I think it looks better than it actually is. The two treasures end up being relevant some of the time, but not all the time. Pattern Matcher is pretty solid, but not exceptional. I think the best card in the pack is actually the Silverback Shaman. Just a great 5-drop. Hopefully we can take the Silverback Shaman, wheel the Gift of Paradise, and have a nice basis for a ramp deck potentially. Temple of Epiphany is a good card, even if you are only one of those colors, but I'd rather just start with a solid common, so we're going to take the Silverback Shaman. And follow it up with what is likely the best uncommon in the set, Risen Reef. It's close between this and Chandra, the uncommon Chandra for best uncommon in the set, but Risen Reef is truly spectacular, and I don't think there's any argument against it here. Chandra's Outrage is a fine common. I actually have Chandra's Outrage over Shock in the commons, which is kind of interesting, I guess. But we're probably going to take the Risen Reef here and either wheel Frostlinks or Thornwood Falls, at the very worst case, a Fairy Miscreant. But Risen Reef is the clear pick here, and we are going to be trying to play blue-green now. Now, wow, this is actually the first Empyrean Eagle I've had the opportunity to pick. I don't think it's going to end up being the pick, just because we already have a Risen Reef, and Silverback Shaman doesn't really go with the Eagle either. This is probably just a Woodland Champion. We can get some tokens, and even if you have only 1 or 2 ways to make tokens, this card's pretty solid, and you need to get some good 2-drops for your decks. It isn't an elemental, but we still have plenty of time, and we can just take the highest upside card at this point in the draft. And the rest of that pack was pretty mediocre. So here, the main choices are between Creeping Trailblazer, Boreal Elemental, and Reduced to Ashes. I think that Creeping Trailblazer is probably the best card in this pack. We can just play a red-green deck, and having a red-green Elementals deck that splashes for Risen Reef is something I do all of the time, and seems like a solid strategy. Boreal Elemental is also a fine option. It would keep us blue-green, but it's just much worse than Creeping Trailblazer. And we already know that we're probably going to wheel that Gift of Paradise from the first pack that we got the Silverback Shaman in, so we're probably already going to be playing that, so Creeping Trailblazer is just going to shoe into this deck very nicely. So I think this is the pick over Reduced Ashes and over a Boreal Elemental. And now we can just pick up an easy Leafkin Druid. This is the only card in the pack even worth considering. Sleep Paralysis is a fine card. You'll play 1 copy of it in your blue decks, but it's nowhere near the Leafkin Druid. It's an Elemental. It taps for green to ramp us into our 5-mana plays, and is overall just a very good card that we're going to take highly. Keep in mind there's no sideboarding in this because this is best of 1, so they're not going to take a Heartpiercer Bow for the sideboard. And there's a Gift of Paradise. I really like Gift of Paradise. I think it's going to be better than Cryptic Caves here. We can just start picking up expensive stuff and also maybe move into more colors than just the red. But Gift of Paradise is a nice card to get. And now a Frostlinks. I like just getting the Elementals here. Keeping up my synergy with the Trailblazer and the Reef. Even though I could just be red-green or blue-green, I'm not sure yet. I guess I could also just take a Vorst Claw, that's also an elemental, but I'd rather just get the Frostlinks. It's the best card in the pack, and very powerful elemental. Okay, Overcome's solid. Season of Growth is also solid. Those are the only 2 cards I'm really looking at in this pack. I do have a lot of creatures, so I think the Overcome's going to be a little bit better. I don't have any ways to target my own stuff right now. And the Gift of Paradise did come back. There's also like Portal of Sanctuary to go with my Risen Reef, but if I play Risen Reef, I'm probably already winning, so let's just take the Gift of Paradise here over the Pattern Matcher. When you have a couple Gift of Paradises, you really can do a lot of flexible things. And now a Thornwood Falls just to help our mana out. We don't need that for the sideboard, so we'll take a potentially main deckable card. We'll just take the Wolfkin Bond, I guess. So I'm pretty happy with where this draft is right now. Lots of powerful cards, lots of good fixing already. Masterful Replication is not as good as it looks. It's like a fine card, but not insane. So I think we're actually going to take Overgrowth Elemental over it, just because Overgrowth Elemental is so good in your Elementals deck. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Elementals already. Getting another Elemental payoff is quite good. And so we'll probably just take this over like a potential Splash, Chandra's Outrage, or a Silverback Shaman here. Getting a nice cheap Elemental payoff is very good. And now Wakeroot Elemental. I actually was really impressed with Wakeroot Elemental last time I played it. And it goes really well with Gift of Paradise, so I think that's the pick here over a Sleep Paralysis or a Splash Reduced to Ashes. I just think the Wakeroot Elemental is just a really good ramp payoff, and I already have 2 gifts to help it. when you're playing Gift, you really want to prioritize mana sinks. So, because you're going to be getting up to expensive amounts of mana, and you don't want to run out of cards. Lavakin Brawler is definitely a consideration here. That card could just be worth splashing. Though I think getting a second Frostlings could be good, and then maybe I wheel this Pattern Matcher if nobody else wants it. Frostlings is just so good. Huh. So, I could get a Cryptic Caves, which helps me from flooding out. I could also just take the Pattern Matcher here, which also kind of helps me against flooding out. Or I could just take a Sedge Scorpion. I think let's just take the Cryptic Caves. Having a land that can get it, cycle is just really valuable. And now we'll get a Rabid Bite, prioritize that removal pretty highly over a Gift of Paradise. Though I probably would play a third Gift of Paradise here. And now a Vorst Claw, another expensive elemental. Nothing else in this pack really that good, especially because there's not really a blue or green card. Okay, Season of Growth. I mean, Might of the Masses can be a pretty solid combat trick, especially because most of my deck is creatures, if you do look. And I'm not really looking to play Ferocious Pup. Season of Growth. Do I already have one on my sideboard? No, I do not. But I do have a Rabid Bite now and a Feral Invocation. So if this wheels, I could play. I don't think it's going to wheel and be the literal last card, but you never really know. I think I'm just going to take the Might of the Masses over it, though. And this draft is just begging me to play Pattern Matcher. I think I can probably get another multiple, so Pattern Matcher is going to be pretty solid in my deck. And now Evolving Wilds for fixing. It's better to get this type of fixing than a Prismite because the Evolving Wilds comes attached to a land, so you don't have to take up a spell slot with it. So that's always very nice. And now we'll just take Scorch Spitter, I guess. Pattern Matcher did come back. Nice. We're not going to be siding that in because there's no sideboarding. Hey, Gift of Paradise. Very late gift right there. I'm liking where we're at right here. Ooh, Season of Growth did come last pick, so maybe we will play that. Okay, so here I really want to get a Netcaster Spider. Netcaster Spider is really good in Best of 1 because you can just use it to make sure you don't get, you can't sideboard in your plummets and stuff, so having a Netcaster Spider is really important. With 3 Gift of Paradise, I can pretty much splash anything I want as long as it's super powerful. So if I see any murders, I'll just take them. The Creeping Trailblazer is looking like a really nice splash right now. But Netcaster Spider is definitely the pick out of this pack, in my opinion. I don't really want to splash a Disfigure. And now, Chandra Spitfire is not really any synergy with my deck. I don't have any ways to deal non-combat damage. So I think in this pack, I'm just going to take a Sleep Paralysis, getting a removal spell. Though I could just take a Sedge Scorpion. That could be a fine option as well. I don't really have all that much removal, so Sleep Paralysis seems like a fine pickup. And now there's a Barkhide Troll. There's also a Thicket Crasher. Huh. And then I could just splash this Lavakin Brawler, but that doesn't seem as good. How many 4-drops do I have? I have 1, 2. I think I'd rather just get the Thicket Crasher. Barkhide Troll is like fine, but I just would rather have the Elemental synergy and just have a slightly bigger body. Though this will probably wheel, so let's just take the Barkhide Troll and then wheel the Thicket Crasher. There's another Gift of Paradise, but we don't really want that. Let's just take the Chandra's Outrage and splash that off of our triple Gift of Paradise. That seems like a fine option to me. We could also splash Master Splicer. We don't really have... Oh, we do have 2 Golems. Huh. Splashing a Master Splicer seems fine. Makes 2 bodies for our Overcome. Just a great card. Yeah, let's just take it. Experiment. For the name of science, and now we can get a nice land to help with our mana. Nothing really exceptional in this pack. Lavakin Brawler is fine, but we're just going to get the land. And now another Might of the Masses or a Mammoth Spider. I think we want a Mammoth Spider just so that we're good against flyers. Because we don't have all that much removal. We already have a Might of the Masses. So yeah, let's just take the Mammoth Spider. And now we get a Vorst Claw or a Sleep Paralysis. With triple Gift of Paradise, I think getting the Vorst Claw is pretty nice. We only have a couple ways to spend our mana on expensive things, so yeah. Gift of Paradise is also fine. And Sleep Paralysis, I mean. Yeah, we could get a removal spell or an expensive card. Let's just get the removal spell. Removals were just really premium. And we did wheel the thick. Oh, this is a different Thicket Crasher. How many 3-drops do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A lot of 3-drops. Let's just get the Thicket Crashers. We're going to get the next one here. Oh, it didn't come back. Huh. That's weird. I guess we'll take the Windscarred Crag. Helps with our Master Splicer Splash. We'll just take this guy. Crasher. Nice, we did get one. I mean, we got 2 technically. Do we already have a Feral Invocation? We do. So we can play Feral Invocation, Might of the Masses, and Rapid Bite, and then the Season of Growth is actually quite good. So we could get a 4th Gift of Paradise. I don't think we want 4 copies of that, though. Let's just take... we'll just take it. There's no reason. We aren't going to play Healer of the Glade. Ferocious Pup. Guess we got a Growth Cycle. Nice. Veil of Summer. Okay. So let's see what we can do here. Probably going to have a pretty... Oh, I messed that up. Probably going to have a pretty straightforward build process. Oh my gosh, what is this land base that's recommended? We'll deal with the lands in a second. We're not going to want to play Woodland Champion, I don't think. We do not really have a ton. I guess we have one way to make a token. Yeah, that's the only way. So we're not going to play the Woodland Champion. Barkhide Troll is probably fine, because even in the mid-game, it's just a fine play. So I like all of our early plays. Huh. So what do we need to cut here? We could just cut our Season of Growth package. It's not the best. What else is in our sideboard? Yeah, let's just cut our Season of Growth package. So we'll cut this guy, we'll cut the Season of Growth, and then that just gives us a lot of extra slots. And then let's just see how many lands it has in our deck, because we want to run 17 for sure. We're probably not going to run Cryptic Caves, though. I don't know, it's tricky. So we have a red splash and a white splash in our blue-green deck. So this is 2 red sources and a white source. Our Evolving Wilds, we probably want to run, we don't want to run any plains, that's for sure. So we have, let's get basic lands here. That 1 mountain to search for, but we won't be able to search for a plains. So we have 1 mountain, 1 plains. Maybe we do want that. So we have 2 cards here. This is 1, 2, and then we have 5. So this is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And we have 2 extra green sources. So we have 8 green sources, 7 blue sources. Because we don't have all that many blue cards. Yeah, this seems pretty good to me. Okay, we do have to cut 1 more card now. Let's cut... one of our mediocre, smaller guys. Let's cut a Sleep Paralysis. Okay, doke. That is going to do it for the deck. Hopefully it was helpful, and I'll yeah, see you for the matches. Okay, so we have relatively solid hand on the draw. It's not exceptional. We don't have our white mana to cast the Master Splicer, but it's a keep, I think. Well, now we do. So let's just get our white source. I'm glad we have a white source now, because that gives us double. Now we have a bunch of... We have really good mana, I'd say. We can just get a plains. And this will pump up our other golem, too. Okay, Angelic Gift. That's alright with me. So we can just play Rugged Highlands. And our pattern matcher out as a 4/4. We'll shuffle our deck, sure. then next turn we can get our Wake Root Elemental down, and then after that we actually will have the double green, the 5 mana to start making things. So my opponent's a mono white Flyers deck, it looks like. That's kind of cool. If they want a double block, I'm fine with that. Nice. Even if they have pacifism, we're still fine. The fact that we're activating our Wake Root Elemental in our 4-color deck is pretty spectacular. And since we've played our only white card, we can animate this Plains. So do we want to get a haste creature in place? So they have 3, 6, 7, 8 damage. We have 4, 8, 13. Oh, we're just short. So I lose to like an Inspired Charge or something. But I think it's better just to get the Vorst Claw into play. Brutal. We were so close. I mean, we were going to lose to Inspired Charge no matter what, because they could have just jumped with this. Ouch. Punished. This is a crazy game. They can attack me for 8. And then win the game if I don't draw a Decision Paralysis or a Frost Lynx. Come on, Frost Lynx. Oh man, that's so close to being good. Rats. Ouch, ouch, ouch. We lost to mono white. That's brutal. We were super close too. If we had animated a land instead, would we have won? I think we might have. Very similar game would have happened though. We would have animated the land, hit them for an extra 5 that turn. I don't know. Hard to say. Okie doke, we have a spectacular hand here. All of our colors, all the colors of the wind. We're going to keep this one. And our Cryptic Caves. Playing Cryptic Caves is so greedy in this deck. It's unreal. So our options early on in the game are actually really interesting. That's part of the cool thing about this deck. We're going to probably lead with Rugged Highlands, so if we draw a forest, we can naturally play Barkhide Troll. Though playing Evolving Wilds to get our Plains seems very tempting to me. Because we're gonna have double colored of whatever we want anyway, and we can put the Gift of Paradise onto our Plains, so that if we do draw our Wake Root Elemental, we can use the ability hopefully. Opponent is on a mulligan. But yeah, Barkhide Troll into Frostlings, into Gift of Paradise or something is pretty good, or just Evolving Wilds. I mean Rugged Highlands turn 1, and then maybe Evolving Wilds turn 2, and then Gift of Paradise. And then Frost Links into Barkhide Troll on the same turn. Opponent is on a mulligan to 5. That is probably going to help my chances, because we have a pretty solid hand here. Okie doke. Pattern Matcher is a good draw, because we do have double Frost Links. We are going to start with our Rugged Highlands. Our deck has such a cool mana base. I really like having a cool mana base. It just makes the matches more fun and more interesting, I think. Because there's just a lot of thoughts about what the power level's there. Okay, nice. So we're going to use our Evolving Wilds. We're going to get our Plains. turn 3 we might Frost Links. We have a lot of choices here. Because we could Frost Links into Pattern Matcher now because we have double Frost Links. But I think it's better to get our mana developed with this Gift of Paradise. So I think we're going to go Frost Links into player land, Gift of Paradise, and untapped land, and then immediately Barkhide Troll. Lots of decisions. And then the next turn after that, we can play Netcaster Spider. Because the turn after that, we'll have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 mana. And then we could Pattern Matcher. Yeah, lots of tough choices. The Netcaster is a really good card in this. We need to make sure we crack this for our planes here. Wake Root Elemental. Okay. So here we're going to play our island, and then we're just going to... I feel like maybe just playing Netcaster Spider is better now. Because we don't really need to tap anything down, and we're just going to be going the Barkhide Troll route at next turn anyway. Let's just get this Netcaster Spider down. Seems pretty good to me. The Metropolis Sprite is effectively blanked. It's now a useless card. And we have still got a ton of options. I think next turn we're going to go Gift of Paradise onto our planes. We're going to play Cryptic Caves first, so we're going to tap these 3, put it onto our planes, and then Barkhide Troll. And then we'll have maybe be able to just play Wake Root the following turn. Opponent's not in a great spot here. They did mulligan to 5, so we should be able to win this game. But I feel like this game has just been really cool because we've kind of had like options every turn. Like we could have played Evolving Wilds on turn 1, which I think would have been incorrect. Okay, Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Opponent does not have any attacks even with the Aerialist next turn. I wonder what they're considering. Huh. This is why Netcaster Spider is such a high priority in best of 1 gameplay. Oh, they're playing hardcover. Interesting. Hardcover is actually probably a little bit better in best of 1 because then you can maybe potentially main deck like sideboard hate cards in your main deck. But right now, I don't think this is what my opponent wants because they're already behind on cards. So it just makes hardcover like a little bit worse because they're on 5 cards already and they just played a card that doesn't really affect their board in any way. Okay. So here we are going to lead with the forest because we'd rather get that down early. And then we will play green, colorless. We want to make sure we load up so we have as much green mana as possible so we can activate the 5 green ability of this Wake Root Elemental, which is quite important. Because we aren't out of the woods yet. We could still like lose this game if my opponent starts. If we get to a board stall, we want to be able to win the game, and we don't have any particularly good attacks here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana next turn. We can just slam this Wake Root Elemental, and then any forest we draw lets us start just animating lands, which is quite good. And then if we get to 7 mana, because this is 6 mana, on 7 mana we want to be able to play Frost Links and then Pattern Matcher it, so we have another Frost Links. That's just the most mana efficient. Using your mana every turn is really key. Like if we played a Frost Links next turn, we're just wasting 3 mana, because we can't really use the 3 mana very effectively. But if we go Wake Root Elemental and then the next turn draw another land, we can go the Pattern Matcher and the Frost Links on the same turn, which is just very effective. That's why you want to be using all of your mana every turn, kind of like how we have been using ours pretty effectively every turn. I mean, obviously we didn't use our mana on turn 2, which is a very important turn of the game, but we did manage to get our Barkhide Troll out on turn 5 using the Gift of Paradise extra mana, which is already pretty nice. Okay. Opponent is attacking. Oh, right, Metropolis Sprite is a nice little combo with hardcover. We are just going to block here and kill the Bloodthirsty Aerialist. If we block the Metropolis Sprite, of course, they would just pump it up a couple times and trade. So I'm just relatively sure that they have some sort of trick, because otherwise they just suicided their Aerialist. It would be weird for them to have murder, because they could have just murdered before. Oh gosh, so now we want to play a land. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just want to play our untapped land so that we can play Wake Root Elemental. The tapped land is a bit of a problem. Getting Wake Root Elemental out is pretty important because it is just a big body. It can attack, it can block, it can animate a 5/5 in a couple turns, and our Frostlings is still going to be very potent, tapping down the Metropolis Sprite, which can technically hit us for 4 every turn, so we are on a 4-turn clock in the air. We're putting our opponent on a 3-turn clock on the ground, though, which is a little bit more effective. I wonder what opponent has in hand. It's clearly, I think it's probably a spell, because if they had an island, they would probably play it so they could pump this 3 times. Anticipate, okay. I'm glad they're spinning their wheels a little bit. Anticipate is the type of card that's fine to play, but it doesn't really advance your board state, and when you're like low on cards, it's like you just want to be, I mean, a lot of the time you want to end the game as quickly as possible, so I can't like leverage my Frostlings play. Hopefully we draw a land next turn so we can get both of these cards into play at the same time. Or we could even draw a forest and just use our Wake Root Elemental. Though I think at that point it's better to play Frostlings and Pattern Matcher and then animate the next turn. My opponent might be holding up Murder. Oh, Master Splicer. Okay, so Master Splicer will be 4 mana. And then we can use all of our mana the following turn with these 2 cards again. So there's also the option to just Frostlings this, hit them for 8. And then, yeah, I think that's actually just better, because then the next turn we can play Pattern Matcher onto our Frostlings, use the other Frostlings to tap a different creature, and just win the game on the spot. And they only have 1 card in hand, even if it is Murder. We're just gonna tap that thing. They'll kill our Wake Root Elemental, but we'll have lethal next turn because we'll just tap down their other creature. Unless they kill Wake Root now. Huh. So, if this card is specifically Murder, I think we're still in great shape. Play a Game Land. Game Lands are actually really good with Bloodthirsty Aerialist, because that's just a nice free way to gain a life. So if you do have Bloodthirsty Aerialist in your deck, there is some debate to like waiting on your Game Lands if you have a bunch of lands and you don't really need the extra land. Like if you're just holding lands in hand, waiting is definitely the correct thing to do. So here, next turn, we're probably going to go Pattern Matcher and then Frostlings, but the game is over. We were victorious. Mulligan to 5 help, but I think we had a pretty solid hand regardless, and yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Okay, we are on the play with a sketchy hand, but, you know, sometimes you just got to keep the sketchy ones. I think this hand is... So we have 8 green sources in the deck, so we're, like, relatively likely to hit one, but not super likely. But the question is, are we more or less likely to win this match than if we mulligan? I think we have enough cards that are, like, good and give us value that it's fine to mulligan this hand. And this hand is much better. We're going to get rid of our Evolving Wilds. Actually, we'll get rid of our Forest. We can just... No, we really want an untapped land for turn 3. But we don't have a blue source in this hand, so we kind of need our Evolving Wilds to get a blue source. And then we have our other colors. So yeah, let's use the Evolving Wilds to get a blue source. We'll just use it during our turn to save us some time. It's not going to really affect any of my opponent's plays, I don't think. We're playing it blue-white. Play a green source down in case we want to drop this Netcaster Spider. Vial of Dragonfire, eh? Well, that was an unfortunate draw because now we don't have a second thing to get with our Pattern Matcher. Let's just play our Pattern Matcher. 4 mana, 3/3. You got to get the body out sometimes, and it's just the most mana efficient play. God Conceer is annoying. I don't like that. Milling 2 lands isn't great for me. I kind of wanted those lands. Haha! There is justice. So we can Frost Links here. I think that's just the play. We Frost Links down the Cloud King Seer, because Cloud King Seer can't really... I mean, because the Sage's Denizen can't really attack us anyway. And then kind of force them to use their Dragonfire Vial, which does constrict their mana a little bit. Because now if they do use Vial, it does cost them like a part of their turn. Oh, that's brutal. Bouncing it anyway. Yarok's Wave Crasher. What a beast. So we will tap the Yarok's Wave Crasher. Play our Netcaster Spider. And hit them for another 3. We don't want to expose the Wake Root Elemental until the turn before that it can activate, or getting kind of close to that. And getting the double spell is kind of nice as well. Cloud Concealer, sure. They mill. Oh no, there goes Risen Reef. Though they have the Vial, so it wouldn't have been long for this world. Okay, now we have a tough decision. Because, no, I guess it's not really that tough. We kind of want to just get the 5/5 into play. Yeah, and then the Leafkin can start helping to activate it. Yeah, there's no way we can, like, do both things. I don't think they have Convolute. Convolute's a bad card. I tend not to play around bad cards, and blue-white can't really get things off the board once they are on the board. So we're going to say no attacks. We have decent blocks for next turn. Especially if they just Vial down a Frostlinks here, which probably is what they should do, just use their mana efficiently. But I like getting the Wake Root Elemental down. And then next turn we can maybe double spell with this guy. Wow, that's an ouch. That's a big ouchie moment. Ooh. Okay, okay. No attacks into the Yarok's Wave Crasher, unfortunately. Octo Prophet. Okay. My opponent has pretty high card quality, but so do I. And I do have an Overcome in my deck if they don't mill it. Which they have not, so Overcome could be a fine out. A fine draw, I mean. I also have like a Blade Splicer thing. I just need to have a creature that's bigger than a Wave Crasher. And I do have a 7/7 here. Ooh, Pattern Matcher. Doesn't really get anything in this situation. I don't really think I have any really duplicates in my deck, though. Like, left. I think Frostlinks is like the only one. And then I had the 4 mana 4/3, but I cut one for Decision Paralysis. Let's just get it into play, though. We'll pay 4. That's pretty good value for us. Let's just look at our deck. So we have Silverback Shaman's a great draw, Vorse Claw's a great draw, Sleep Paralysis is good, Rapid Bite's good, and Overcome is good. And no attacks here. Just getting rid of this Wave Crasher opens up a whole avenue of attacks for us. Renowned Weaponsmith. Oh no. Well, then we build 2 bad cards, so that's good. Gets us closer to our good ones. Unfortunately, that's not really a good one. This can start attacking them for 5. Because it gets 1, 2, 3 buffs. This isn't an elemental. So what would they block with? We kind of want to get the Renowned Weaponsmith off the board. So they'd probably block with this guy and this guy. So that's not a good trade for us. Considering that it might just die to a Vial of Dragonfire next turn, could just be worth it. Sure. They jumped. That's good for us. I hope they don't have any other things to give with their weaponsmith. If they start mowing things down, that could be a problem. I wonder how many vials they would run. Looks like they're about to activate. Oh no. Please just be a heart piercer bow. Oh no, this is a problem. Okay, it is a bow. Perfect. But now I guess they can trade their Cloud Conceer for my Netcaster Spider. Yep. I don't think we really care about the 2 damage. Actually, yeah, we probably do. We just want to get rid of their flyer, and we want to, even though Overcome is one of our better draws, we want to we want to have more turns to draw that, shall we say. And unfortunately, another bad draw. I wonder how many things they have to go get with this weaponsmith. Looks like they're out of stuff, which is great and perfect for us. Let's just single block here. Trading a 3-3 for a 3-2 is good for us. Especially because now we don't care if they have a Vial of Dragonfire to get with their weaponsmith. Looks like they did not get there. Overcome. So we did make some trades, but now creatures we draw are much better. And if they do get too aggressive, we can just kill them, maybe. So we're going to wait. They're out of stuff to give with their weaponsmith, so it's pure top deck mode, but we have a pretty good late game card in our hand. Okay. That's a good draw. So we can get rid of the Wave Crasher. Let's play a land, because then if we draw another land, we can play both in the same turn. We really just want to draw creatures. We do have a decent number left in our deck, I think. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, they're going to mill us. Those were 2 really good draws that we would have wanted. Come on, big draw. Jeez. My opponent, to be fair, has also drawn a lot of lands. They have 10 lands in play, and we have 9 in play. But we need to draw creatures if we wanted to have a chance of winning. That's a creature. That's actually a huge creature. Please don't have Bone Dash. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Let's actually tap this guy down now so they can't equip the bow to it and have a nice free attack. Any attacks they make are going to have to be a suicide attack. Because they will want to kill my Master Splicer, I assume. Yep. We did get another 3-3 and removed a blocker, so. Seven cards left in deck. We have another decision paralysis. Gift of Paradise doesn't really do much. Let's just go out. Go all out. We have 18, so they're going to have to make some chump blocks. This is a classic situation of knowing when to play to your outs. You have to, I mean, not know like Master Splicer was one of our best draws, and now we're very patient with our overcome, so we can maybe force them to chump block a little bit. That was well mathed, I must admit. What the heck was that math, opponent? What the heck? They could have triple blocked that guy, and I would have only killed one of their mill guys. That was a little bit anticlimactic considering how thought out that game was, but I'll take it. Whoa, you made it! Welcome to the end of the video. Welcome to the wrap-up. I just wanted to let you know that the way the deck ended up playing, it ended up going 2-3, but the two matches that I didn't show you weren't really its fault. I just got stuck on 3 lands and never got to cast a spell, really, and just kind of got run over. So they weren't really high-quality matches, and I think the deck itself was pretty strong, and I think that the archetype of 4-color green is quite powerful as well. Remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. Hashtag overcoming mill to let me know you made it all the way till the end of the video, because we cast that overcome against the mill opponent, and we beat a mill, so overcome, yeah, double word entendre there. Pretty fun stuff. I do want to give a huge shout out to my patrons, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. These are the people that are giving directly to the channel and helping me make all of this content for you. If you would like to support the channel, check it out over on patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. You get bonus content every week, tons of cool perks and rewards as my way of saying thank you, and I do really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you next time.